So, and I never want my daughter to feel like she's not a part of, or neither to feel like that she's not a part of this family. So, we even make statements like, hey, like technically Jesus was a stepchild. You know what I mean? If you, you know what I mean?
What's up, folks? You are listening to the BCD. Oh, no, that's not it. What's up, folks? You are listening to the Blue Chip. Try this one more time. What's up, folks? You are listening to the Blue Chip Dads podcast, and I'm your host, King, aka D.King. And on the show today, I have Mr. DeAngelo Williams, aka Mr. Creative Dad. How you doing today?
Doing pretty good, man. Thank you for having me, bro.
You're welcome. I'm sorry. Let me backtrack. I said Creative Dad, but it's actually Mr. Creative DWill.
Yeah.
You're everyday Creative Dad. So just to tell you guys really quickly about this guy, man, he's a father of three, has two girls, one boy. He's a YouTuber, and like I even though I have more subscribers than him, I'm actually aspiring to be in his position. Like, even though I may have more subscribers, he's actually killing it. And I expect him to really take over like within the next couple months. If it may take a little longer than a couple months, but the boy is killing it. But yeah, he's an awesome person, great personality, and he has three kids like me. So I'm gonna get into this today, man, and ask him some questions, figure out how he's doing what he's doing, and hopefully provide some good content for you guys today. So, Mr. Will, tell them what I haven't told them about you, man. What do you want the world to know?
Well, you told them that you do have more subscribers as of right now. You know what I mean? I'm just transitioning to this thing. To this thing. Yeah, I'm gonna catch up pretty soon. Nah, but yeah, man. I'm just a creative, man. I have a background with working on music, like far as mixing, mastering music. I've worked on a lot of projects. I work with artists like No Malice, Jay Kirk, just a whole bunch of different artists. And a little bit about me. I have, like you said, I got three children, two girls and one boy, and I'm a creative dad, bro. Like what that means is I work a 9 to 5, but I'm still hustling on the side to try to turn my passion into profit and support my family and build a legacy. So right now, you mentioned with the YouTube thing, I'm kind of in the transition phase to getting from behind the camera, behind the mixing board and engineering and everything, and kind of transitioning to in front of the scenes and building myself as a creative or artist myself, and transitioning to building my own brand. So yeah.
You say you have three kids, two girls and one boy.
Two girls and one boy.
Kids?
My oldest is 10. I'm actually we're actually a blended family. My wife, she had a daughter before I got married to her, obviously. And that's my oldest daughter, Sanaya. And then I have a middle child that me and my wife had together, Mia, and I just had a 1-year-old about what, a year ago? 2021. Yeah, no, 2019. Yeah, so my youngest is my boy, and he's a junior, DeAngelo Maurice Williams Jr., the Great. You know what I mean? I gave him my name.
I couldn't do it, man. I couldn't give my child my name, man. I was the only Daquan growing up in a one red light town, bro, and it was torture for me, man. So I couldn't do it. But more power to anybody that can. My son will be able to pass down his name for sure. So that's dope, man. That's dope. You mentioned that you're in a blended family.
Yeah, man.
How does that work? I mean, I know it works, of course,
man.
But not being the father, do you have a good relationship with her father? How does it work for you?
Like in the beginning, man, I think for us it started off kind of rocky because the father was her and the
and
father
we're not gonna bash him. We hope to support, and because every situation is different. So
definitely.
This isn't bashing any single fathers out there. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it got off to a rocky start because her and the father kind of had a rocky start. So and things didn't end on the best of terms with them. So that kind of transitioned. But over the years, as we been raising our daughter and just having a family, man, we've kind of mended that, and we kind of got an understanding of how to pretty much he understands our rules when Naya's with us, and we understand when she's with him, and
Mm-hmm.
everything that he wants, and any big decisions, like even like buying a cell phone, we incorporate him in on those decisions, even though
Mm-hmm.
like he's all the way in Virginia right now. I'm down in Florida, but buying a cell phone, we didn't even consider doing that without his consideration, and even down to the
Yeah.
point of what type of cell phone that we was going to get. So we took those in considerations, and we try to any big decisions concerning her, we we include him in on it, and he includes us in on it,
Yeah.
and we just have those boundaries and the mutual respect for not trying to disrespect each other's household. So and so far everything has been going awesome, man, and we just been growing. So yeah.
Word. That's pretty dope, man. So you communicate on everything
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. We try to communicate on everything. Like as far as like small things of
Hmm.
little everyday things. Obviously, we ain't gonna be able to, but hey, yo,
Yeah. Yeah. Of
we need
course.
your input on this. But like when it comes to life changing things, or like because you never know. Like he could have had something in reserve where he didn't feel as though she was ready for a cell phone. And then with that
Hmm.
being said, we would have had to bring that to the table and have that communicate, have that conversation, and then we would have
Yeah.
to respect his decisions, and just continue to move forward and communicate. So I think communication is just having that open line of communication is the most important when it comes to blended family. So
Hey guys, look, I am new to podcasting. So when I decided to get in the game, I needed an app that would work for me. And Anchor was that app. Not only does it allow me to record myself, but I can also record my guests by sending them a simple link. It's everything you need to record a podcast in one place. And on top of that, it's free. Like free. Download the free Anchor app today or go to anchor.fm to get started.
so then I never want my
Hmm.
daughter to feel like she's not a part of, or Naya to feel like that she's not a part of this family. So we even make statements like, hey, like technically Jesus was a stepchild. You know what I mean? If you you know what I mean? And like if you look at like
That's smart though.
technically Jesus
Yeah.
was a stepchild, and be like, hey, look, we might not, even my brother, but my brother, we don't have the same father, but we got the same mother, but that's still my brother. Like so, and we
Yeah.
treat each other like that, and yeah, man, that's what we try to, sorry, try to do for Naya.
So you're intentional. It sounds like, I mean, it sounds like you have to be
Yeah,
intentional when you can't just like with my kids, I don't have
yeah,
stepkids, and so I don't necessarily have to have those intentional
yeah,
conversations. Um, you know, are they are they hard to have
yeah, bro,
or
man. It's very hard to have, and a lot of people, it's super hard to have because like she don't understand. Like the other day, um, she asked. I guess the conversation was brought up of what we what we were gonna name. We were all at a family gathering. It was, I think it was 2 days
Mhm.
ago, like 2 days ago, matter of fact, Easter. And no, it was on Saturday. But anyway, we was having a conversation of what we was gonna name my middle child. What was her original name was gonna be was gonna be Lyric, but uh we changed it to Mia and all this other stuff. Well, Naya kind of had the conversation. It was like, hey dad, what was my name was gonna be? You know what I mean? And then her mom kind of had to step in and kind of explain to her, yeah, we your name was going to be Sanaya. That's what me and your dad wanted to name you. So
Mhm.
that's what we named you. So she kind of really didn't understand that she's 10 right now, and she's like I've been there her whole life, so she doesn't know a time that I
Yeah,
wasn't her father, like I wasn't her dad. You know what I mean? All she
yeah,
knows is
yeah.
is she has two dads, and she, I guess she's thinking that I was there in the beginning. Even like with some of the photos that we have with the family, we don't have any ones with her in the belly with my wife. Um, with the
Hmm.
whole family around. So we still kind of have to, yeah, we
Oh,
still have to kind of explain that to her, and in the best way we possibly can. And sometimes it'd be like spur of the moment, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd be like, oh, bro, like, dang, like, how do I answer this question? You know what I mean? Like, how do I, I don't know, like, how do I answer this question? Like, girl, I wasn't there when you were born. You know what I mean? You can't just come out and say that. So it was just like, bro. So
Yeah,
I had to kind of tiptoe around that and look at my wife, like,
yeah.
help me, please. You know what I mean?
You need a safe
Yeah,
word,
yeah.
man. Pineapples.
Pineapples. Somebody
Hey,
help me, see me, see you, help me,
yeah,
please. No,
help me.
yeah, man.
I want to, because that's my
Yeah,
girl. That's your baby
yeah,
girl.
yeah,
And I get it. I don't get it, but I
yeah,
get it, of
yeah.
course. That's dope, man. So how did you feel, man, when you had, you know, not to separate your stepdaughter, which is your daughter,
Hmm.
from your other two kids, but like when your first child was
Hmm.
born, man, like what ran through your head?
Um,
Like, were you prepared because
no,
you were already doing this?
no. I wasn't. I was nowhere near prepared. And the reason why I say that is because when Mia was born, I didn't want a daughter. I didn't even like because
Mm-hmm.
I already had Naya, so I wanted a boy. I wanted a
Mm-hmm.
boy, so I was kind of like
Yeah.
disappointed. But when she came, bro, oh my God, it was just like, yo, it was such a crazy experience just to see. I mean, my wife giving birth and just holding her for the first
Mm-hmm.
time and everything like that, bro. Like I'm not an emotional person, but at that moment, bro,
Mm-hmm.
like, dude, I was she. I don't even can't even explain it, bro. She made me into a, a sweetheart. I guess you could say, for lack of better words.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, man. She melted me.
I get
Yeah,
it, man. I came up a little rough,
yeah,
man, and my first two kids were boys, so I was like, yeah, this is it. This is what I do.
yeah,
This kind of works for me. And then when this little girl came, man, with that little smile,
yeah, bro.
oh
It
my
was, man.
word,
Girls, man. Girls, they have just like a special place in daddy's heart. Like, like my son,
yeah,
bro. I ain't even lie. When my son was born, man, I was more so scared that because I mean, even though I had my stepfather there, I didn't have my real father. Yeah, I
I
didn't
get
have
it.
my real father there, and I was more so scared of
Yeah,
like I wanted to constantly be there because like being married, like granted we know it's for life, but sometimes you have your ups and downs, and I don't want to ever have him. I don't know, man. I was more so scared with my son because I didn't know how to be a
mm,
father because I never had like that true loving type of father relationship. Even though my stepfather was
yeah,
there, but it wasn't like a like, man, like,
I get it.
what I mean, we wasn't. I kissed my son, right? I kissed my son, and I love on him and all this other stuff. I never got that growing up.
Hmm.
So, and I
Yeah,
had to literally, I had to learn that, bro. I had to learn that. Yeah,
bro,
yeah,
that's that, that's the craziest part because yeah, I didn't grow up with that either.
yeah,
Like I didn't have male affection
yes,
at
yes,
all.
yeah,
And so I don't struggle with that area. Like I can give my kids affection all day long, but at the same time, I have this toughness in
yes,
me that I'm constantly having to check, and my wife checks me, and when I do check, I have to open myself up and be
yeah,
receptive to making that change. Like even whether I acknowledge it or she sees it, like okay, that's not right. I got to pull back. He's only two.
yeah, yeah,
I can't get, he's
yeah.
only two.
Like, be a little man. You
And
want to be like,
so,
toughen up, be a man. But yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But for
I
your
just,
girls, man,
yeah, you just
your
want to
girls,
toughen them
yeah,
up, like just
yeah,
right now, just be a
yeah,
man,
yeah,
grow some hair, go
yeah,
bald, like,
yeah, yeah. But for my girls,
but it doesn't,
my bad. Nah,
go
no,
ahead.
for my girls, bro, I didn't have that though, right? Because like it was
Yeah,
easier for me to be more affectionate to, yeah, because
automatic.
they're my baby girls. I can kiss, and plus I had
Yeah.
my mother there who actually always gave me that type of affection. So my stepdad never gave
Hmm.
me that affection. My real father, I mean, obviously he wasn't even in the picture, so I never got that type of affection. So I never knew how to love from a fatherly
Yeah.
standpoint. I mean, from a manly standpoint. So yeah, bro.
Yeah. So, I mean, how, when you were able to make the adjustment, what clicked for you? What was it like? Your wife telling you need to change? Was it you seeing reading up on like what made that click, that connection for you that okay, I got to make this
Um,
adjustment?
Actually, it was about because right when my son was born, me and my wife started to do this marriage life group, and I started,
Hmm.
and it was in the life group. There was a lot of older men that had sons, right? And then I started to see how they were loving on their sons, and it wasn't like I started to see what a father kind of should be like. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm.
like not just, I don't want to take anything away from my stepfather because my stepfather was there. He was a
No,
great
I get it.
father. But at the end of the day, we didn't grow up in the church, and I never seen that I don't know, for lack of better words of that, I guess, how to love from a man's standpoint. So, and just being around those older men and talking, having those tough conversations with them, like, bro, like, yo, uh, like, do I kiss on my son, or do I did do this and this and that? Do I love
Hmm.
on them? How do I love on them? Just having those tough conversations in those marriage groups where that kind of helped me out. So it wasn't really more so reading books or anything like that. It was just literally learning and falling in love with my son, bro. Yeah,
Community.
community and falling in love with my son,
Mm.
bro. And that's what really
Yeah,
I mean, I loved him, but it's just like, man, this is my son. God, like this, bro.
yeah,
This is a little DeAngelo, right? I don't know, man. It's crazy.
yeah,
So,
literally. Hey, okay, so do you have like a moment that clicked for you that was like there's no turning back when you became a father?
um, when I married my wife, yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah.
When
So because you kind of you married
yeah,
into becoming a
yeah,
father. For
yeah.
me, it
So,
was
and then when I yeah, for me it was just like, yo, I asked in the beginning, I was praying with my wife about our relationship and everything like that. But when I kind of made that decision in my heart that, hey, God, this is the woman that I want, and this is the one I want to spend the rest of my life with, um, then it that was kind of that point, was like, okay, if I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna make that commitment, then I need to then I need to. Like, I'm a father. Like, I'm not just marrying my wife. I'm marrying
yeah,
my daughter,
yeah.
Naya, too.
So you're
It's
making like
a
a
double
double
commitment.
commitment.
Yeah,
You didn't.
a double
Yeah,
commitment.
yeah. It was
Yeah,
I
it was
do,
I
I
do,
do.
I do. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah, I
do,
do
do.
do. Yeah, I
I
do
do,
do.
do.
It was one of those.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
You did,
yeah,
did. Okay. All
yeah.
right. So I got one for you, man. What was the worst like advice you got before you became a father? Like,
Hmm.
this is so hard for me to ask these questions because you became a father when you
Yeah.
got married. So what was the worst advice you got about being a father that you was like, yeah, that's probably not
The worst
wise?
advice, man.
Yeah.
Shoot, I don't know. Like, that's a really good question. That's something I got to really think about. Um, I guess the worst advice that I ever got was probably listening to some people that I shouldn't have been listening to, like family members, where they would say, "Man, you should." I guess when things go hard and everything like that, and I confided in the wrong people, and they kind of say, "Bro,
Hmm.
like, if I was you, I would chunk the deuces and leave and everything like that," and not understanding that at that and early on, that, man, it's gonna always be problems no matter what relationship I go into, and no matter what situation I go into, and it's all about just making that commitment and saying, hey, I'm choosing to stay with you. I'm choosing to be here for you despite the situation.
Hmm.
I mean, granted, it ain't a situation where it harmed anybody, anything like that, but I should not letting my emotions and my feelings make a decision that could possibly harm my children's upbringing. You know what I mean? So um, just, I guess,
And if just listen, guys, if anybody starts out with, if I was you, and then they begin to put themselves in the situation as if they're the ones going through it, like they ain't gonna do me like this, or my child wouldn't be blah blah blah, or my child this, my child that. That's when you begin to cut off. Just like it doesn't matter who it's coming from. You just need to just like put your blinders on and ignore that person because every bit of advice they're giving you from that point on has
Yeah.
nothing to do with you. And so yeah, that I've been there. That if I was you, advice is probably, man, the worst advice I've ever gotten. Um, um, if I tell you what, did your father? Let me ask you, how much do
My
you know
real
about your
father?
father?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I know a lot about him. Right now,
Okay.
recently, we've been building a relationship. So yeah, we kind of
Good.
patching
Good.
things up, and he's been reaching out a lot. Matter of fact, he hit me up on Easter. So yeah, which was a few days, well, 2 days
Good.
ago. Yeah. So
That's good. Do you know if your father had the same type of relationship? Like, was his father around?
I'm not even sure. I don't even know. Yeah,
That's a
that
good
is a good
question to
question to
ask,
ask
man.
him. That's really good. Yeah.
Growing up myself, man, I lacked so much identity because I didn't have, um, my father wasn't really in the picture. I mean, he didn't live that far away from me, and I saw him, periodically, but it wasn't the greatest relationship. And I'm not gonna get on here and
Hmm.
bash my father. I'm trying to work on the relationship with him now, and he's trying too. So I gotta give God the glory for that. But and not to speak on his situation, but the more I speak with my dad, and then I
Hmm.
talk to my uncles, um, and I ask questions about, because I want to know the history. I ask questions about his father and then his father's father. It's
Hmm.
almost like a pattern. Um, and until you like become cognitive of this pattern and say, I'm going to break it, I'm gonna break this generational curse, then it's really easy to lean into it and allow that to be your life
Yeah.
because it's all you knew. you know and again, not to bash anyone or whatever, but and not to say that my father couldn't have changed things or got things right, but or to give him passes, because he was a grown man, just like I'm a
Yeah.
grown man. But it puts things into perspective when you kind of know the history, why things were the way they were for him, and then things kind of got passed down. And growing up for me, I began to use, oh man, I had so many excuses.
Yeah.
I had daddy issues, and those daddy issues made it okay for me to not be responsible, not to keep my word, um, um, make mistakes.
Yeah, bro. Like, and I think
Yeah.
that kind of for me, um, not having, my real father there, it was just like, man, like
Hmm.
you say history. I was I'm well aware of like genetics and when you see me, if I show you an image of me and my father, my real dad, bro, and my mama saying that y'all
Yeah, I
act
know.
just alike, like how is it possible y'all are so much alike
Yeah.
and y'all don't even really know each other like that? And then for her to say that, I'm like, well,
Yeah.
dang, if
Yeah.
that was his history, then could some of that trickle down to me and my, what I mean, my son, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, and that's one of the
Hmm.
biggest things that scared me was
Hmm.
actually the history aspect of saying, well, like, because I'm not just the only one. My bro, I got like, let me see, about 5 or 6 brothers and sisters on his side alone. No, I think I got like 7 or 8, bro, on my father's side. So my father, he got about like 7 or 8 children. Shoot, I don't even know how many the dude got. But anyway, just having that, like, man, to say that, hey, like this is what your dad, this is how he was, this was his nature, then I don't know, man. It kind of scared me when with my son, and I said I'll never be like that. But it scared me. But now it's my motivation. It's just like, yo, like I'm gonna always be there for you no matter what.
That's why I
Hmm.
brought up the history, because with with history, especially like say, genetics, things that
Yeah,
are just in your blood, whether you don't even have to have
in
a
your blood. Yeah.
relationship. It's just in your blood. This is your genetically, yeah, this is who you are, your genes. And so until you address it
Yeah.
and you find out why things
Hmm.
were the way that they were, you can't even address those things in yourself. I learned, I could procrastinate like crazy, or and I'm changing that. Like I've gotten to this place now where like procrastination is like
Mm.
is my enemy, and I'm trying to attack any procrastination in my life. But I look back on the history of my life and I just see like all the areas where I procrastinated. And I was talking to my uncle one day, and he was like, "Yeah, man, that's like that your granddaddy was a big procrastinator." I'm like, my granddaddy. And it's like your granddaddy, he would always be telling me stuff about my granddaddy, and everything he tells me about my granddaddy, I'm like, dang, I'm like that. Dang, I never knew my granddad. I
Wow.
never met the man, you know? I'm pretty sure I kind of look like him because I look like my
Mhm.
dad's younger brother. Um, when I say much younger brother, much younger brother, sexier, more
You
handsome,
retarded.
you know, facial hair, yeah, smoother younger brother.
You're a trip.
But 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 my point is that so much stuff was passed on to me from my grandfather, and
Yeah.
I don't even know if it
Yeah.
had to go through
Yeah.
my dad to get to me. You know what I mean? Um, but without asking those questions, one, how will you know to address those things within
Mm.
yourself? And then also what to know to look out for
Hmm.
your kids as well. Because it's one thing to address them within you, but you've
Yeah.
already passed it down to your kid. And so how do you attack that and address that, saying to make sure that, and then not
Good
just the
part. Yeah.
bad, but
Yeah.
then the good. I'm into music heavy. My dad, I
Bro,
started doing
same
music
here.
because he was doing
My
music.
father was actually an entertainer,
Um,
bro. Yeah.
I come to,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, come to find out, my entire family on my dad's side, they're
Yeah.
all like musical
Same
people,
here.
man.
Same here.
But
Yeah.
that's my point, though. So to bring it back, um, there's good that's passed
Yeah.
down, and then there's bad, and unless we have those tough conversations while we can, like I realize there's a lot of you fathers out there who can't
Yeah.
have these tough conversations. Um, but while you can, and then also, how about this, man?
Yeah.
You live in a blended family. I think it would be really good to get to
Yeah.
know your daughter's father. Again, not just like the bad, but then what are his likes? What is his hobby? What is he really interested in? Because most likely it's been passed down to her already, and you can know what to address and how to really
Yeah.
feed those
Yeah.
the good. And I realize blended families is not necessarily an easy thing to do, but we just talked about how communication is a good thing. I'm sorry, I know
No,
I
no,
just
no, no,
kind of
no,
like
no, bro.
hijacked
You
your
good,
interview
man. This
for a
is good,
second there,
bro.
man. But
You not only are you interviewing me, man, but you're feeding me, bro. Because I'm getting some really good nuggets out of this, bro. Like for real, for real. So I appreciate you doing what you do. Awesome guy.
and, we always talk about how communication is key in marriage.
Yeah.
We never think about how communication is key also when it comes to blended families, and because that person is kind of like a part of your marriage, whether you like it or not.
Yeah. Yeah.
The decisions that he makes with your daughter can affect your marriage
Definitely.
uh very easily. So that's a really good key point there. Is communication is just as valuable.
Yeah.
How's your relationship with her?
Oh, Naya, man, it's like literally, bro. She uh like I don't look at her as a stepchild or anything like that. She's like literally
Yeah.
my child, and I treat her exactly as such. Even to the point where when when me and Tania first started dating after like a few years, I never forced her to call me dad or anything like that. But just me being in that role and treating her like she was my own, uh,
Yeah.
she ended up start calling me dad. She wanted to start calling me dad. So she calls me her dad, and
Yeah.
at first we was just like well, I'll introduce her like, hey, this is, well, I'm her stepdad and everything like that. But over time, when I guess she started to push it. Then I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna say that you can't call me dad or anything like that. And but I didn't
Oh,
force
that's
that on
that's
her. Yeah,
that's dope. So you waited for her to
yeah,
be
and
welcoming to that.
yeah, yep, yep. And it's not just like people don't understand. Like it's not just like it's just, oh, I'm married to your mom, so now I'm your dad. Nah, bro. Like you have to like let her. She like over time. I think they said like I think over about 2 to 3 years after that, a child start to see you as an authority figure. Then
Hmm.
I think it's like 4 to 5 years or something like that, they start seeing you as a parent. So
Mhm.
yeah, just giving her time and letting her do her own thing and make her own decisions, and like that was the biggest key for us starting off.
Well, so how did you get into? I kind of want to ask you: did you read any books on this? Did you listen to podcasts? Because you basically became a father when you weren't a father. It's
Yeah.
one thing to know you're going to be a father in 9 months. It's a whole nother thing to get married to someone and automatically become a father.
Well, to
You know?
start off with, me and my wife, when we were in the dating phase, man, we wasn't just dating. We kind of had the mindset that we were like, hey, if we're gonna be doing this thing, we're
Okay,
gonna be doing this thing for real. So we
with a
was,
purpose.
yeah, with a purpose, right? So we were seeking counseling from our church, especially on having a blended family and everything like that. But at the same time, like I, we were in the church, and we had people around us that were also blended families and everything like that. And I'm not trying to make it seem like, man, we had it all together in the beginning and figuring this thing out,
Yeah.
and we still don't have it all together. We still trying to figure this thing out, and the communication ain't always well. But in the beginning, man, we just surrounded ourselves around some people, like, because I come from a blended family. I had a stepfather. That's the only father that I knew. Like,
Okay.
I mean, I know my real father, but he was the only father that was there for me in the picture. So it wasn't like, man, like in the beginning, I wasn't like, I would never talk to a woman that has children and everything like that. It was just like, no, if I am gonna do this, then we're gonna treat this like, hey, we're dating with a purpose. So and by doing it like that, we surrounded ourselves around people that were in similar situations that we can kind of navigate towards. So in the beginning, I
Mm.
wasn't, I ain't started reading books, to be honest with you, until about a few years within, and starting getting into business and stuff like that. And that's when I really got on Audible and started reading books and blended family and love languages and all that other stuff. So yeah.
Got it. You mentioned that you had a stepdad growing up. Do you find that your relationship sometimes mirror the way that your stepdad, like,
Um,
did you give your stepdad trash? That, like, did you give him a hard time?
uh,
Like, I gave mine a hard time.
No, no. I mean, I didn't like my stepdad. I looked at him like as my dad, for the simple fact that he was there since I was like with my daughter, since she was 2. I've been there, so she don't know any, and she don't
Oh,
know any
okay.
other father. And the same thing with my dad.
Yeah,
He's been there since I was 2. I know my real father, and he would come around every now and then, but like,
yeah,
no, that's my dad. You know what I mean? That's my father. Like, we might not have the
yeah.
best of relationship, but like, I don't look at him as anything less than my father. Anybody asks me who's my
Mm,
father, I'm gonna tell you. I mean, Aaron Craig is my father, and
yeah,
that's because he's literally been in that role, and he hasn't treated me any less than a son. So um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. So growing up, that was
Okay.
kind of my situation, and by me, it kind of trickled over to the situation that, well, my relationship with my wife now. Like, I know what it feels like to have to be, you know what I mean, kind of a stepson.
Hey, so that concludes our episode for today. I want to encourage you guys to check out my man DWill. You can check out his IG at Creative DWill, his YouTube Creative DWill, or you can email him if you're looking for a video, or you need some beats made, or you just want to talk to him about fatherhood. His email is creativedwill@gmail.com. He's an excellent brother. I will have his information up on the website once that is up and running really soon. But before then, and until then, you can at least just go to the link on this podcast and link up with him. So thank you guys for rocking with your boy. Again, we are looking for a closer for the podcast, but the very first interview podcast is done. I guess this is episode 2. Get ready for episode 3 coming soon. I am enjoying this. If you're liking this, please let me know. Drop a star or 5, not a star. Yeah, just let's start with 5, and if they offer 6, let's go to 6. But yeah, man, y'all let your boy know if I'm doing a good job or not. And then also, if you have any questions, I did release a tips episode, which was the very first episode. And every other episode will be about, I'll have some kind of dad tips for you. But if you have a question, something maybe you're a new father and you have a question that you would like for me to ask one of the fathers, or you have for me, hit me up. I look forward to it. You can always reach me at bluechipdads@gmail.com. Again, that's bluechipdads@gmail.com. Or you can go to my IG. It's a very new page. Only have like one follower right now, and it's not even like my friend. I don't even know who this person is. But you can go to Blue Chip Dads on IG. I have a group page on Facebook. Still building that mug up. So yeah, follow me. Hit me up. Let me know if you have any questions, or if you want to be a part of the podcast. Let me know. But again, check out my man DWill. A great brother, great heart, great spirit. I probably wouldn't even be doing this podcast if it wasn't for him. Like, he really encouraged and pushed me to do this. And so I'm very much proud of that brother, and I'm happy to have the connection that I have with him. So yeah, that's it. We're done. We're out. Peace.